What's up, guys? Welcome underwater. Today we're about 15 to 20 miles offshore doing a little yellowtail and dorado fishing. I believe this was the fourth patty we came across, and this thing was an absolute barn door. And when we rolled up on it, I did see a couple mahi. So we fished it for about 10 to 15 minutes, but the fish really just weren't biting this year. Not sure why, but I ended up getting my suit on and jumped in the water, and you can just see how big this kelp patty was. I mean, it was absolutely huge. But as I roll up on this thing, I can see these two mahi kind of approach me, and I can easily tell the one in the front's a little bit smaller. You guys will see in the end, but I go for this big guy right here in the back, and I love the shot because I spined him, and so it just allows me to get the fish into me, and I'm less likely to lose it compared to having it swim around and freak out for a while. This way I can brain and bleed it and just kind of get it out of its misery, so that way it doesn't suffer that much. So I was super stoked on that shot. But after I shot this guy, I didn't really have anywhere to put it, and I didn't want to go back to the boat, so I kind of just held on to it in hopes that the other fish would stay around. I really wanted to get two of them. We hadn't seen much fish today, so I wanted to take advantage of it while I could. But like I said, I brain and bleed this guy. I do this with every fish I shoot. But yeah, I didn't have anywhere to put it, so I would just held on to this thing, and this is me loading it up again. I really wanted to get a chance at that other fish before it left. Fish don't tend to stay around for too long after, I shoot their buddy. I get it, I wouldn't either, but so I load this thing up and I swim back over to the patty because I don't know where this fish is anymore, so I'm kind of just keeping my eyes open. And you'll see, we're kind of just chilling here. So I load my gun up like I said, and I'm holding onto this fish with my left hand, so I'm really gonna have to make a one-handed shot here in a second if I see this fish. Not the most ideal thing, but I didn't know if that fish was gonna leave before I had time to go back to the boat, so I just did what I had to do. So I'm kind of just circling this patty right now, looking out for it. I didn't really see it, so I just made a dive under the kelp patty. It just gives me a lot better visual of everything around the patty, and you can kind of see it in the top left corner. I just saw this thing totally hauling ass around the kelp patty, so I dart after it. You can see all the bait in the water. It's just crazy how there wasn't more fish on this patty. We just didn't get that many fish this year. Definitely wasn't like the year before. So I come around the corner and I don't see this thing. I don't know where it went, so I'm gonna do another dive under the patty, hope that opens things up. Get underneath it here, and I just see this thing kind of cruising. This thing's trying to hide from me as best as it can. And so I come from underneath here and just, not the best shot. It was a little low, but I had to do what I had to do. Wasn't sure how much longer this fish was going to let me chase it around. And I definitely don't like the fact that I just took a shot right next to the kelp, because now this fish is just going to give me a total mess, and only having one hand to deal with this was kind of a struggle. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So you just saw me, I loosened the drag on my reel a little bit because I knew it wasn't the best shot and I didn't want it to rip out. So I gave this fish a lot of slack to kind of just twirl around underneath the kelp patty, hope it didn't rip out. I'm just kind of trying to get my line untangled from all the kelp and trying to figure out where this fish went. You can kind of see it in the bottom there. I'm going to make a dive here in a second and try to grab this fish because I really didn't like that shot. I thought for sure it was going to rip out. It ended up not being too bad, but I just go in for the grab here. And thankfully I am able to get a hold on it, and I wasn't really able to get away from the patty, so I just came straight up through it. But it's okay. I think I secured both fish right here and got myself out of the kelp. Meanwhile, my knife is sinking to the bottom of the ocean. It must have grabbed a piece of kelp and just pulled out, so I was super bummed about that, but it happens. Yeah, so I ended up getting these fish out of the kelp. As you can see, that first one I shot was definitely much bigger than the other one. Probably one of the better bulls I shot this season. But I'm just going to let the rest of the video play out. So if you guys liked it, throw a thumbs up on there. Yeah, it was a good day. We got these fish on ice. We made fish tacos later that night. And so, yeah, we had a good time. Hope you guys liked it.
Little thing.